Tekken, a fighting game that started out pretty humble to being the biggest 3D fighting game at this very moment, mostly because the other ones are dead. Regardless, with the latest installation, Tekken 8, it has some nice quality of life stuff like a battle pass with premium pass, a shop that only uses premium currency, with a button in the main menu that specifically goes to that shop to make sure you don't miss out. And last but definitely not least, a sus business model. However, I'm going to be playing and rating each Tekken game out of 8 with the criteria of how fun they are, their replayability, and my biasness towards certain aspects. Please note that I've only played Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. And starting with the first Tekken, it's definitely not the greatest. First of all, there's no sidestepping, which is like half of a Tekken game. So basically it's a 2D fighter, but you default to blocking high instead of blocking low. And all you do is just backdash, wait for it to replenish, and then with Kazuya at least, you just whiff the second hit of your twin pistons or flash punch and then you just die. Speaking of which, whenever you get knocked down, it takes like 10 years to get back up. Overall, I would rate it 8 out of 8 because it's far from what Tekken is today. But I guess it was pretty interesting to see how the first Tekken was like though. Moving on to the second game, it's the same thing as the last Tekken, still having those same issues from the last game, but it might have better graphics and maybe you're on the ground for 9 years instead of 10, so I guess it gets a 7 out of 8. Surely it goes up from here, right? And it does go up from here. Tekken 3 is way above what Tekken 1 and 2 did, with mechanics like sidestep finally making its appearance, as well as a shorter time being knocked down. In addition, Tekken 3 Jin is probably the second best character they ever made, because he has wave dashing, the electric wind god fist, and combos actually hit in this game. However, I would have to give Tekken 3 a 4 out of 8, mostly because later games do Tekken better. Now with Tekken 4, which is certainly something. My first impressions were that, how do I combo off the electric? Oh, it's only on counter hit? Anyways, the game overall feels like a step back from Tekken 3. It has less sidestep, less backdash, even the combos are weird, but maybe it's because I don't play Kazuya. Also too bad Jin wasn't unlocked when you open up the game because I quit right when I unlocked them. But I'll rate this game as 6 out of 8 because at least it isn't as bad as the first two. Nevertheless, I won't be picking up this game again. Finally, Tekken 5. This game is definitely a masterpiece. Well, compared to the previous games, it's basically just Tekken 3 but with like kinda functional wall combos. Not the greatest I'll say, but at least it has better stages than Tekken 4. And they even brought back Tekken 3 Jin as Devil Jin, so that's something I biasly approve of. However, I have to rate it a 3 out of 8 because I still believe later games do it better than even Tekken 5. However, for the next game, Tekken 6, the campaign doesn't seem worth playing because the moment I saw that was like that one mission in Tekken 8, I was out. Anyways, the new bound mechanic is kinda cool, but it's better in future games. I've heard that rage damage isn't too balanced, but I didn't get to play with it too much in my hour of gameplay. And apparently this game has breakable floors and wall breaks, but I don't think it said anything about that unless it was some random loading screen tip. Anyways, I'll have to rate it a 5 out of 8 because I see it as a worse version of the upcoming 2 games and I'd rather play 5 or 3 compared to 6. Now for the previous game, Tekken 7. It does most things better than Tekken 6, except maybe the sidestepping part, and does have a lot of counter hits. So your best bet in this game is to backdash and just whiff punish, I'm pretty sure. However, this game has my actual favorite character, which is Kazumi Mishima, who's like the most boring character ever to watch. But I can appreciate when a player with such good fundamentals make her work. And with that, I pray for her to be the 4th DLC for Tekken 8, and we'll be rating Tekken 7 with a 2 out of 8, seeing that this is Kazumi's game and mostly nothing else. Lastly, for the Tekken 8 review, I think this game is the best one as of right now, even though it has some flaws like making the game very stance mix-up heavy, questionable monetization tactics, and my main Devil Jin is at its worst state ever in all Tekken games. While I do believe that Tekken 8 will be balanced one day, mostly because I've heard that the DLC characters are pretty balanced compared to the DLC characters on their first day in Tekken 7. I just feel like they take forever with balancing the existing ones though. Also, the campaign's really good compared to Tekken 7 and Tekken 6. Like it's the third thing I'm anticipating for. And for the spectator experience for Tekken 8, I believe it's the best Tekken you can watch because it isn't just 2 dudes backdashing until timer runs out. All I'm hoping for is Kazumi and some Devil Jin changes, but in all, it's a definite 1 out of 8 for me. Unless the people at the top of Bandai Namco do some more questionable decisions for Tekken 8. And that's my list. Even with all the hate Tekken 8 gets, I still give it the top spot. And that's maybe because I'm a shill, it is what it is. The buffer system in that game feels real nice. However, if I were to place it in an ordered ABC tier list, Tekken 8 and 7 are at the top, Tekken 5, 3, and 6 are at B for not being as refined as the above, and Tekken 4, 2, and 1 are at C for being overall a step back. Okay, bye bye!